does real safety feel like in my body and life? That is what today's Tarot for Growth Challenge question is. We're on day 21, but whenever you see this, this is meant for you. So what does real safety feel like in my body and life? And what came up, I already shuffled and cut the deck, is the moon. The moon is, a card that kind of represents our emotions as they wax and wane and fluctuate, just like the moon does. It also represents things that are hidden, that maybe either we don't see or we don't want to see. It is where maybe, we don't have the full light. Even if it's a full moon, we don't have the full light of the sun, so our eyes can play tricks on us, things like that. So what does real safety feel like in my body and life? I believe that what this card is telling me is that real safety would feel like you could trust everything that you see. You could trust everything that you hear, right? And we definitely are not living in a time where any of us feel safe like that, right? Like, you turn on the news and no matter what side you're on, there's propaganda everywhere. Like, we can't, and with AI too, all the videos that are coming out with AI, like, we can't trust what we see, right? Like, it feels like everything is hidden from us. So what does real safety feel like in my body and life? It's being able to trust what we see. It's being able to have a life without anxiety and fear. It's, because with the moon, sometimes you may not know what's lurking in the shadows, whether that's other people outside of you or even the shadows within yourself that you're too afraid to look at or too afraid to admit to or anything like that, right? It's kind of, it's got this like vague, the moon has this vagueness to it, right? Like, it's not steady. As I said, it goes in cycles, right? So real safety would feel in your life like you could trust the cycles, or that things would remain steady, everything would be fully seen. But on the flip side, I also think that this is saying, because the moon does represent our emotional body, right? So real safety would feel like we could trust our emotions. I think that's another thing, is that so many people were taught really that emotions can be bad. Like, if you're sad, we'll just get over it. If you're angry, that whether you're a man or a woman, that's bad, right? Like, if you're a woman, you're and mad, you're like a raging B word. If you're angry and a man, a lot of times it's because that's the only emotion that's acceptable in society for a man to have. So we don't put enough value on our emotions. Yes, emotions are like the moon and they fluctuate, but I like to consider them our emotional guidance system. And they're important messengers, right? So real safety in your body and life might feel like being able to trust your emotions. So that is what I got for that. The follow-up question I want to ask, typically with these Tarot for Growth Challenge questions, I don't ask follow-up questions, but the one I want to ask is, okay, well, if this is what real safety feels like in your body and life, how do we get there? How do we get from this is what it would feel like to actually creating that? So the next card on the deck is the Death card. So the Death card is about transformation, right? It's not about physical death. People sometimes get scared of it, but it's really just a card about transition. It's a card about one door closing and another door opening, right? So how do we get here is, kind of by first recognizing what would real safety feel like in your body and life, and being willing to ask yourself that question, and then looking at your life and seeing what is holding you back from feeling that. And most likely there's some sort of transformation within yourself that needs to take place in order for you to get from A to B, right? So like to be able to trust our emotions, right? If we've always been taught that our emotions are bad, or that we have to shove them down, or that we can't trust them, or whatever, we need to have a transformation within ourselves about how we feel about our emotions, how we feel about others' emotions, right? Being able to learn to detach a little bit from, like if somebody is angry with us or something like that, rather than reacting in the moment and like getting mad because they're mad or something like that, like taking a moment to be like, okay, well, this person is reacting this way towards me. Why? Like learning to understand about them, but also learning to understand about how you have contributed to whatever, and, ownership. And then ownership of your own emotions too. And that can take some transformation. And then as far as, the other thing that we were talking about with this card was not being able to trust, like the media or things that we see coming out with AI and things like that. So not being able to trust things outside of ourselves. The death card again could be a transformation. Like, okay, well, we've tolerated being lied to as a collective and everything like that. And, it has been, how we've been lied to has been kept hidden, and it's been deceptive. So, we need to collectively go through a transformation process, go through a death process of saying, no, we're not falling for that anymore. We're not accepting it anymore. So how we get, basically in all the scenarios that we've covered, anything that comes to your mind about what does real safety feel like in your body and life, the way to get there from where you are now is to look at what needs to change, to look at what needs to transform. And the moon is also a lot about transforming, right? It's about going into the dark parts of yourself as well and shining a light on those and bringing them to the surface and healing. And I think that is, what is needed and what is being called for in the death card is being willing to let go of some of the familiar things that we have tolerated and things like that in order to get to the point where we can feel that safety. And letting things go is hard, right? Anytime there's death, there's grief. Whether it's actual death or just upgrading yourself, anytime there is a change, a transformation, there's something that you're leaving behind in order to get to the new place. And being willing to go there is a big part of the transformation process. So I hope this message finds you well today. I do check out the links in the description below. I do have links to some journaling stickers that I use and love. I also have, with the summer solstice, I did an astrology video on the summer solstice and the entry into Cancer season, and I have a tarot spread for this particular moment in time and Cancer season and everything available for download for free. you just have to follow the link in the description below, or I can, if you'd like me to pull that tarot spread for you to give you some insights into this Cancer season, you can go ahead and book, and I'll put the link for that in the description below as well. And I look forward to seeing you back here again tomorrow. Comment below if this resonated as well, and go ahead and give me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content.